Hey guys, Nicholai here again, back at you with another response to Stu Peters, who is just a verifiable, mountain of just insanely stupid takes, mixed with a couple things that could be defined as brave, and, a little bit crazy, frankly. So, this is, okay, this is very funny. Erika Kirk's father founded and was chairperson of Raytheon's Israeli division that included building the Iron Dome. So first off, I don't know if people don't know this, and people who aren't familiar with this kind of stuff wouldn't know it, especially someone like Stu Peters, who either is plain ignorant or is doing this intentionally to fool his audience. And before we get into the video, I'm gonna comment on this. DoD contractors, people that are hired by various governments or the United States government to set up missile defense systems and things of that nature, like Iron Dome, will always elect essentially, quote unquote, a chairperson. Really, what they are is just the lead contractor who's in charge of all the other contractors to set up various contracts and continue to make sure those contracts are fulfilled. Raytheon would have one in Korea, they would have one in Japan, they would have one in Dubai, they would have one in Qatar, they would have one wherever there's Raytheon employees, they're going to have quote unquote chairperson, which again, most of the time they're just VPs, and in a company as large as Raytheon, though, that's a dime a dozen. So, one, that's kind of a nothing burger right off the bat. Anyone who's familiar with DoD contracting knows this. It's not to say that it's innocent or that there isn't potentially something duplicitous happening there, because we all know how corrupt these DoD contractors can be. But this is just trying to poison the well right off the bat. Right before you even watch the video, you're getting a well poisoning right here. About who? Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, the woman who watched her husband get shot with their children right there. Now listen to the psychopath this guy is platforming on his fairly substantially large YouTube channel. Or channel or whatever he has. So we're going to listen to this, and then I will give some commentary as it goes on.
And yeah, you mentioned Erika Kirk. Apparently, they didn't meet. Erika didn't say they met, but she said that she saw him. She was on a pilgrimage with her mom, and she saw Charlie, and she was like, "Wow, I want to get to know that guy." And then apparently they met down the road, and as a millionaire, because she owned a clothing line, and she also
so the clothing line right off the bat. She was Miss Arizona, and she leveraged her influence and that momentum of being Miss Arizona to create a clothing brand. There's all kinds of clothing brands out there. It's not freaking crazy. It's not even that hard, frankly, with enough influence and people that you know, to get in on that. And she is also a fairly well established person in certain circles with the right wing. This is not controversial at all.
was part of this Romanian like child safety rescue operation.
Yeah, so it was a effort to save trafficked children, which there are a lot of trafficked children from Eastern European countries. Ukraine used to be one of the top, and probably still is, one of the top child traffickers in the world. And good on her for being involved in that. There's all sorts of people that are involved in rescuing children from these deranged, evil, pedophile elite, and frankly, not even sometimes elite, sometimes just average Joes who want to pay $1,000 to do horrendously evil things to children. Okay, so this is all trying to frame it in the worst possible way. Oh, this is some weird child safety thing. What, as if you don't understand what nonprofits and others do to help support rescuing children from being raped, right?
I don't know exactly what it was specifically, but
Notice that. I don't know what it was specifically, but I'm bringing it out there to plant the idea in your head as the listener. Notice that.
Then she decided that she wanted to apply for a job at Turning Point, and that turned into this budding relationship. and then they got married and they had kids, although there are no pictures of the kids' face.
Yeah, Charlie's talked about this at length. He intentionally did not want his children or their faces in public. He did not want them to be harassed. They did not want their names out there. They did not want any of that. They were immensely private about it. They did not allow any of that information to leak. That's why they only trusted their closest of friends, whom they knew, to be able to know their kid names or faces. All of the social media, as you can, if you're aware of Charlie's social media presence, his Instagram or his wife's Instagram, they're all intentionally videoed and cut in a certain way so that their faces are never shown. Why? Because they don't want that harassment coming down on their kids, because we know how insane the left is. The left will murder your kids. They will harass your children. We've seen it time and time and time and time again. Absolutely unhinged take from this guy.
Faces. I don't know the kids' names, and I've never seen a picture of Erika Kirk pregnant. Now, does that
Yes, because people will share pictures of themselves pregnant just willy nilly on the internet for what? Clicks? Some people actually have integrity and they don't want that kind of flack or that kind of criticism constantly being levied at them. And in fact, I know some women that you could barely tell they were pregnant. It's just the way their bodies were. They didn't have a huge baby bump, and so you could barely tell if they wore the right types of clothing, baggy clothing, things like that. There are some women that didn't even know they were pregnant until they had the baby. That has happened. Look it up. It happens more frequently than you would think. So, oh, right here, JD Sharp. Yeah, dude, your take here is ridiculous.
mean that all that is fake? No, but it's something to consider, especially when you look at her family tree. Her mom, AZ Tech, her dad, AZ Tech International.
Yeah, so that's called a subcontractor. So those are firms that typically get fairly large. They're never as big as the big boys like Raytheon, but they essentially specialize in one very specific thing, and they will be subcontracted with other larger contractors. And they typically make some pretty decent money doing that. So people are trying to find something that is a nothing burger. It just means that her parents had influence, and by having influence, they were able to get into certain circles of the right wing, which is probably how she ended up getting the chance to even meet Charlie Kirk in the first place.
She's actually on video, probably 5, 6 years ago, admitting that they moved to Arizona because her mom was working with Homeland Security and the Department of Defense.
Yes, every DoD contractor. Arizona is a huge DoD contractor hub. There's a ton of DoD contractors that are headquartered, particularly subcontractors that are headquartered out of there. Anybody with any basic knowledge about contracting, about the DoD or any of this stuff would know that. Of course, he does not, because he's a stupid person, and stupid people find vague connections of things and then make fantastic claims out of it. Watch the claim. The claim is subtle here. He's essentially saying this: she was a plant. She didn't actually love Charlie. She was a plant, and there's a reason why. They had this big festival for Charlie and all this stuff. Now it's all focused on the Jews and blah 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 blah. He's that's that's the implication, is that she didn't love Charlie, that this was all a plant. It was a fake marriage, a fake family. She's not actually heartbroken about her husband dying. That she's not actually um, that all of this was just kind of a big ploy, and the subtle implication is that TPUSA was in on it. They were in on killing Charlie Kirk.
You can look it up that AZ Tech International has gotten at least $2.5 million in GSA grants from the federal government. And her dad, apparently, was the former chairperson of Raytheon's Israeli division.
Okay, so one thing that should be noted: he says apparently. That doesn't say anything. Contractors will go on and form their own contracting companies all the time. And I want to put this into perspective for people. GSA grants to a contractor, 2.5 million. That's nothing. That is the smallest amount of money that the DoD has ever spent on anything ever. The DoD, like 2.5, they sneeze out into a bucket at night and go and forget about it. Like the DoD, that is nothing Okay, you're talking about contracts in the billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. I can tell you a small time contract here in Korea, where I was formerly familiar with, um, was at least like $100 million contract. $100 million contract, and it was an IT contract. It was like maintaining basic IT systems with like a team of probably 50-ish individuals. And the person in charge of our quote unquote division for this large contracting company, guess what they were called? They were a VP. They were a chairperson. Oh no. That's how ridiculous these people are.
So there's just a lot of things going on.
Raytheon does have Raytheon Israel Ltd, which is responsible for working with the United States government and the American-based Lockheed and Raytheon in developing these missile defense systems, including the Iron Dome. Mm-hmm. So Raytheon literally does have Raytheon Israel Ltd, and you're saying that A to Z Tech is involved with this? So Erika Kirk's father is involved with Raytheon Israel? Is that what you're saying?
From what I understand, Erika Kirk's father formed Raytheon Israel's division and was the former...
He didn't form it. Raytheon pulled from talent that were probably already contractors or successful contractors in other areas of their company and said, hey, we need somebody to lead the team here in Raytheon Israel division, because we need somebody to set up and maintain these systems. Who's going to lead it? Mr. Kirk over there. He's really successful. He's really good. He's an up-and-comer. We should put him in charge. It's a smaller contract, because, by the way, it's a small contract. Raytheon has much larger contracts around the world. It's a small contract. We can get him, and he's the vice chairperson, by the way. He's not even the main. And by chairperson is a dishonest framing. He is literally just one of the guys that they sent there to set up the infrastructure to get the team in place. After he was done with that, he's like, I can make more money personally by just owning my own than doing this. Happens all the time. All the time.
Or chairperson / president. I believe he's retired now, but he was actively involved in that particular operation.
That particular operation. It's a secret, guys. No, you realize all of these contracts are public, right? This is why conspirators actually make legitimate criticism of Israel and legitimate criticism of the left and legitimate criticism of the right even impossible, because they make it everything about their retarded conspiracies, because they have to get that clickbait. It's all clickbait nonsense. Stu Peters, shame on you. Guys, like, share, and subscribe. Share this. Let people know. Let people like Stu Peters know that we need to stop with this nonsense. We need to stop accusing people of things that some of the most horrendous things I've ever seen levied at somebody has been Erika Kirk over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Absolutely horrendous. Oh, she's not crying enough. Oh, she's crying too much. Oh, she came out publicly too early. Oh, she didn't come out publicly fast enough. Where's Erika Kirk? Where's Charlie Kirk's parents? Where is... ridiculous narrative and everything else. Oh, she smiled in a podcast. Let's overanalyze it and try and make this widow even more miserable than she already is. Shame on these people. Such a shame. Ugh, disgusting individuals.